To those I have wronged, I ask forgiveness. To those I have helped, I wish I did more. To those I neglected to help, I ask for understanding. To those who helped me, I sincerely thank you so much. Hi there, I'm Scott, and this is GreatScott Knitting, the Vlogtober event, and this is the Yom Kippur edition of the of the month. One could say today is Yom Kippur. With all that, it's a day off work, but not a day of joy or happiness. This is a day of contemplation, of seeking forgiveness, seeking redemption for any wrongs that you may have done. So that's what today is about. Today is also about the idea of that sort of the mystical or the mythological background that happens on Yom Kippur is that our names are written into the book of life or into the book of death, and that book is sealed for the year, and our fate for the coming year is determined. And so between Rosh Hashanah, where it is written, and on Yom Kippur, when it is sealed, we have the opportunity of maybe influencing the writer, the big G, to either put your name in the book of life or the book of death for that coming year. And the way you make that determination is by seeking forgiveness from your fellow man, doing good, making contributions to people, fulfilling various commandments, so that you would sort of nudge God into liking you. It's sort of that trying to, what kids do right before Christmas is that, they start being really good and doing really nice things so that maybe their Christmas presents get a little bit nicer. Well, it's kind of what happens in those days of awe between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, is people try to get on God's good side to get in the right book. It's that's the traditional view of it. The real view of Yom Kippur, or the time period between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, is a period of time where you reflect upon in what ways maybe have I harmed other people? In what ways have I fallen short and sinned, meaning missed the mark? And what can I do to recognize? First step is recognition. I recognize I've done something wrong. Second step is to ask for forgiveness for that wrong. And then the third step is to then atone for that through an action, through better behavior. So in a sense, atonement happens consistently then throughout the rest of the year, where you do better after recognizing how you didn't do what you wanted to do or what you needed to do in that situation. So that's Yom Kippur is that culmination of the Rosh Hashanah period, that New Year period, and it culminates in this day, where on this day we go to God and request forgiveness. So between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, you're supposed to do that with your fellow man. This is the day that we go and ask for forgiveness for our sins, how we've missed the mark and not met expectations from God. But we don't do it as individuals on Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur, we, as a community of people, go before God and atone for our shortcomings, our sins, our misdeeds as a community. And so when we, on Yom Kippur, in the services, we list out a series of sins that we have committed, but we list them out as we have done this, we have done that. And it's not from the standpoint of you individually having done it. It's from the standpoint of, in this community, someone more than likely committed this transgression. And so we take on, as a community, the responsibility for that transgression before God. And it doesn't mean that the individual should not be held accountable for their own issues. They are not that they are not responsible for them, but that we as a community take on the responsibility, in a sense, a responsibility for that as well. Because one of the things we talk about is, how have we as a community not been there for those who have sinned? How did we contribute to their transgression, either by not supporting them, by not doing the things we needed to do so that they knew the right path and had the knowledge, the skills, and the mindset to take that path that would make their lives better. And so we as a community take, in a sense, a responsibility for our part in other people's transgressions, which is really interesting. And I really like that aspect of Yom Kippur. Now, here's what I don't like about Yom Kippur. On Yom Kippur, it is a fast day. And in Jewish tradition, fasting means no food, no water, no comfort. So you wear uncomfortable shoes. So they in the day, the idea of leather shoes was considered, those shoes are comfortable. So you don't wear leather shoes. You wear like maybe cloth shoes where the soles aren't as thick, and so it's uncomfortable. And the idea is, it's not a joyous day. It is a day of deep contemplation, and that you don't want to be comfortable in declaring your transgressions. In a sense, it's sort of the antithesis to Pesach, which Passover is a day of being in recline and being comfortable, and lots of pillows around you, and just being very, very cozy. Yom Kippur is definitely not that. It is an uncomfortable day, and so we fast to, in a sense, as an atonement for our transgressions. There's no wine like on any other Jewish holiday, because a wine is a symbol of joy, and so there's no joy in Mudville during Yom Kippur. So there's no wine. There's no food, no drink, no relaxation, no comfort, no work. So the idea is you focus on the liturgy of the day, which has to do with redemption, asking forgiveness, and community. The idea is most Jewish communities will gather together at synagogue the whole day. services will be in the morning, and then in the afternoon they hold classes and workshops and different things to keep you occupied and not thinking about how thirsty you are and how hungry you are. And then they will end the day at sundown with a meal, with a break fast for that day at the end of the day after sundown has occurred. So that's what Yom Kippur is about. Now, here's the this, for me, the saving grace. Because I take medication that is life-saving, required, I do get to eat and drink due to that, but I must do it at a reduced and non-joyful level. So I can't have like a great big old roast beef on rye with and with nice spicy mustard and a little bit of pickle. I can't do that. That's too much joy. So today it's going to be very light fare, maybe a salad, to be able to take my pills and not have an issue. But so that's what today is about. I due to COVID and me still not being comfortable going out and being amongst people in large crowds, I am not attending Yom Kippur services. Instead, I get to spend a little time with you. So let's go. This is supposed to be a knitting podcast, not a podcast about Jewish services and Jewish holidays, although oftentimes it seems like it is, because I sort of circulate, my year circulates around those holidays, and so oftentimes my podcasts will circulate around those holidays. But knitting. So over the past few days, I didn't podcast yesterday, so I am sorry. Please forgive me. I'm not, part of getting into the habit is getting back up when you fall down. And that's what's important. And so I missed the mark yesterday. Today I'm going to hit the mark. But what I've been talking about over the past few days are the finished objects that I've had over the summer. And so the next finished object I'm going to talk about is my Kinship shawl. And the Kinship shawl is by Olga Buraya. I'm going to screw this up. Olga Buraya-Kefelian and Stephen West. And it was featured in one of the Pom Pom magazine editions from a couple years back, or maybe it was just a year ago. And anyway, so here is my version. I knit the small one because I just simply did not have enough yarn. And I really enjoyed this. Again, slip stitches seem to be something I did a lot this year over the summer. And again, blue. Man, apparently blue is my color. I just hadn't really paid attention. Although I didn't dye this, I will say that. So I haven't been dyeing a lot of blue, but I certainly have been knitting with a lot of it. So this is, again, Cascade Heritage sock yarn in Dusty Turquoise, which is the light, this light color. In Marine, which is the dark color. And then in Tropical, which is that underlying shifting color. So it shifts from that into something lighter, and then back into blue. So it kind of goes from a maroonish color almost into a yellow, and then into a darker blue. And so that color shift made this really gave this a lot of dynamic action as it shifts its tone from the start to the finish. So it made it a lot of fun to knit with, because it was always kind of fun to see the interplay of the two solid colors with that shifting tone. So that was fun. So yes, so that's the Kinship shawl. This is the small one. And yeah, so that's I think that's pretty much it. Tomorrow is the 6th of October. And on the 6th of October is when the first clue drops from Stephen West in the 2022 Westknits Mystery Knit-Along Twists and Turns. I'm so excited. It's going to be fun. I look forward to those clue drop days. So, again, a lot of people are speculating cables. I'm kind of thinking we might also see some twisted stitches as opposed to just cables. So it'll be interesting to see if I'm correct in some twisted stitches being added in to the pattern, just to, as a technique that I've not seen Stephen West use. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if some of that falls in, as well as using that cable needle to do traditional cables. And of course, I'm very, very, very interested to see how the color plays throughout this shawl, as I am with every shawl that he designs. I'm very interested in the color play. So, so that's, I think, that for today. So may you have peace in your home and the fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Talk to you later.